let's just put this mic down here, so we can have some volume. He's coming home. He is coming home. Jonathan Toews is coming home. And it's weird. It's such a weird feeling. So normally I'm gonna just say this right now. Normally we wait for the annual contract to be announced, and that could burn us here if we are incorrect, or if the contract is much worse than we assumed it to be. So when we get to that step in the video, we're gonna lay out some ground rules on what makes us comfortable, what makes us go hey, and what makes us go this. Yes, that's fair value, and I'm okay with that. So first off, Jonathan Toews, former 3-time Stanley Cup champion, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, I believe, and all-around NHL Hall of Famer, future NHL Hall of Famer, is signing a 1-year deal with the Winnipeg Jets. Now, Jonathan Toews has not played in several years. He had a really tough bout with COVID, and he then just never properly recovered. And we are not here to have a conversation about that. Injuries strike anyone at any point in their career, and that's just how it's going to be. However, here's the question. We're not talking about the injury itself. We're going to talk about how is he now? Is he better now? Probably not. However, the question is not, is he better? The man is easily in the twilight of his career, and that's fine. Like, for his age, that's completely expected. Not everyone is a Corey Perry out there, but people forget, even guys that age gracefully, like Corey Perry, are not as good as they once were in their prime. However, if Jonathan Toews can redefine himself as a bottom six forward with playoff experience that knows what it's like to win, that can be beneficial. I do not want the Winnipeg Jets to go, well, here's our number 2C. No, don't do that. Do not do that. That man is over 35, and he is, I don't want to say damaged goods, but he ain't the same player. You're not getting prime Jonathan Toews. You are getting a weathered Jonathan Toews. A Jonathan Toews that has had to do a lot to rehabilitate himself to make an active roster. Now, I'm going to assume that these teams had insights on how the training has been going, so they didn't just blindly pick a guy who is completely out of shape. I'm going to make that assumption that NHL teams know better than that. Let's start there. Now, obviously, he hasn't played in a while, which is less than ideal. However, as we've said, if your plan is to use Jonathan Toews in sparing minutes, in safety spots like the bottom six, or specifically the fourth line center position, I am completely fine with this. That being said, he's got to get that first goal in a Jets uniform out of the way. Sometimes fourth liners, it takes them a while to get there. No. That man needs to score immediately. Get that history-making career mark on the board as soon as possible. Now, I'm just a little nervous. I'm excited. This is amazing. This is so fun. How often had we had a real good feel-good story like this in Winnipeg? Not since a week and a half ago with Connor Hellebuck winning the Hart and the Vezina. Like, we've been gifted. We've been spoiled a little bit, admittedly. However, to have a feel-good story be from someone saying, you know what, Winnipeg, you're all right. I'll go sign there. That is really fun. It's one of those things that, let's talk now, the big conversation. The price. So this is a 1-year deal. So we know it's just, so here's my thing. If this contract is more, people have been saying if it's anything more than a league minimum deal, I'm going to be upset. No, I know. Here's my thing. okay? And I'm going to temper my expectations here because this is the Winnipeg Jets. And I have had to do that as a fan of the Winnipeg Jets for a long period of time. If this contract is 1.5 mil or less, this is a safe contract. This is complete. I don't care if he flops or if he's good. This is fine. The cap is so high. It is so much not an issue. If the contract is 1.5 mil to 3 million, I will be uncertain. And if the cap hit is more than 3 million, are you all right there, Winnipeg? Were you blinded by nostalgia? I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm never gonna say that it's that this is a bad idea. This could blow up in their faces, and I'll say, you know what? For the PR that it did, it was special. It was magical for a brief time. That being said, do not pay him. Like if we get to July 1st and this contract is 5 mil, I will be seriously concerned. Also, here's another thing that will concern me. If you market this man like a 2C in the year of our Lord 2025, I will be concerned. This is not 2007. This is not 2013. This is a lot different. Know your limits. The man won his last Stanley Cup in 2015, which is not a big thing because some people have never won the Stanley Cup. But he has struggled as time has worn on, as any NHLer has. So know your limits with him is all I'm going to say. That being said, let's not get too down on the situation way too early. Allow ourselves to be excited. This is really goddamn exciting. Especially if you're a Winnipeg Jets fan. If you're not a Winnipeg Jets fan, you should be happy at least to see that he's coming home. That's the way I see it. Best case scenario, you get a Corey Perry situation. Worst case scenario, he's probably sitting in the press box. And I hope the worst case scenario I hope is that he just sits in the press box for a bit. That's how I'd say it. So this is a little bit of a longer video than I said, but again, we don't have the annual contract numbers, so we'll find out July 1st or possibly sooner, depending on insiders. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and leave a like on the video, and we'll see you next time.
1-1, Nikolai Ehlers chips it through, gets around, and he shoots and scores!